everyone, it's Kerry here from the Female Entrepreneur Association, and welcome to another weekly dose of inspiration to build a successful business. So today we are talking all about something that every single one of us needs to do successfully in business, and that is marketing. Good marketing is vital for the survival of your business, yet it's something that so many of us struggle with. So today we are joined by the wonderful Tara Gentile, who is a business strategist extraordinaire and also the founder of the 10,000 Feet Business Strategist System. So Tara, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Kerry.
I am so excited to talk about this because obviously marketing is so important to every single business, and I also think that when you realise what it takes to be good at marketing, it makes it so fun because then you can test out new ideas and it actually works, which is good. But it is obviously an area where so many people go wrong, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And I think that the number one reason people go wrong with marketing is because they confuse marketing with promotion. And, we are constantly on the lookout, it seems, for new promotional tactics. But very rarely do people kind of stop, pull back, and really think intentionally about the messaging and the purpose and the people behind marketing, which are really the foundations of how we talk to our customers about what we have to offer. And unless you get that foundation right, all of the promotional tactics in the world are going to fall flat. And I love what you mentioned about, kind of being, once you get these things right, being able to experiment and actually see your marketing efforts work. Because I think that's the number one thing that we all want, right? Is we want to be able to get traction when we're putting marketing efforts out into the world. And so focusing on this stuff, focusing on the foundations of marketing and your message and who you're trying to reach is exactly how you do that to actually get traction in the marketplace.
Yep. So what are the things that people need to do? What are the steps that people need to take in order for their marketing to be just absolutely amazing all the time?
Sure. So my clients get sick of me saying it, but I think what you absolutely need to do is make your message matter to the people who matter most. And the people who matter most are the people who are most likely to buy from you, your best customers, the prospects that are most ready to use what your business has to offer. So to make your message matter, you kind of have to get out of your own head and get into the head of your customer. I call it your customer's perspective, right? You need to be able to figure out how they see the world, how they interact with the world, how their behavior is dictated by the things they see, the things they hear, the things they believe, and the things that they're thinking in their mind that we don't necessarily have access to. And to do this, what I think you really need to do is use social media as a listening tool. The really good news is that in the social era, we have more access to our customers' perspective than we have ever had before in the history of business and marketing. And we normally use social media in marketing as a broadcasting tool, right? We spew information, we spew content, we spew promotional messages. But I think what all entrepreneurs need to do more is listen and really discern what it is that our customers are saying, doing, thinking, feeling that make what we do relevant to them.
Absolutely. It's so important because if you don't pay attention and know what your customer wants, then it's like you can't put the right offer in front of them, can you? Or connect with them in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think you really have to ask yourself, what's standing in the way of my customer's success right now? What do I see? What do I hear that I know is standing in the way of my customer's success? What misconceptions do they have in the marketplace? What kind of limited, ideas of what is possible are they working with? What behaviors are they doing on a daily basis that get in the way of being able to achieve the outcomes that they want to achieve. And, those questions, so what misconceptions do your customers have? What limited vision do your customers have? And what behaviors or frustrations get in the way of their desired outcomes? Those questions are really relevant no matter whether you're selling information, whether you're selling services, or whether you're a designer or a maker trying to, offer tools to your customer to make them feel prettier, to make them feel more organized, to make their homes feel homier. Yeah. And those are exactly the things you need to be thinking about that do make your message matter more to those people who matter most. What is it that my customers are trying to accomplish? What is it that they're trying to do? do? And how does my product act as a tool to get those things done?
So once you've kind of figured out, you've done more research about your potential customers or your audience, and you've done more research to find out exactly the kind of people they are, the things they like, the frustrations they have, and how you can help them, what else can you be doing to make sure that your marketing is a success time after time after time?
Yeah, so you mentioned a big one earlier, which is experiment. And this is something that people do not do often enough. Experimenting with your message is the best way to figure out what exactly it is that's going to keep your message relevant for the long haul. And it also is going to help you evolve your message over time as well to make it more and more relevant. So, one thing that I do is I actually use my Facebook page for this, but Twitter works really well. Pinterest could work really well. And of course, your blog or email marketing can work really well for this as well. So, I'll brainstorm maybe 5 or 6 different ways to message to my audience about what it is that I'm trying to teach them or how it is that I'm trying to interact with them. And over the course of a few days, I'll put each of those messages out and I'll see what the response is, right? So, how many likes are we getting? How many comments am I getting? How many shares am I getting? What's the response here? What's really grabbing people's attention? And then, before I invest a ton of effort or energy or, gosh forbid, money into figuring out what my main marketing message is going to be around a particular product or initiative, I've already experimented and gathered lots of data on, exactly how to message to my audience to make my promotional efforts, more reliable. I think the other thing that people really need to think about is using analytical information less than using social information. And what I mean by that is that we often try to generalize about our customers, and we think in terms of demographics, and we think in terms of, kind of overall patterns that we see. But when we do that, we're including a lot of information and assumptions that really isn't relevant to the people that we want to reach most. And so instead, I think we need to unlock our social brains. This is the part of our brain that we use when we're having coffee with someone, when we're having a glass of wine with someone, and we're just having a really natural conversation. We're responding to body language, we're responding to subconscious cues in people's speech, or the kinds of questions that they're asking. And we don't stop and analyze. We don't look for patterns. We just react. And I think if we all trusted ourselves more as marketers, as communicators, as message crafters, with our social brain, we could create much more effective marketing messages. And I realize that that's easier said than done, but the number one tip I have about this is really thinking in terms of personalization, not generalization. Yeah. So if you are on your Facebook page, or you're on your Twitter page, or you're creating a new blog post, I think the best thing that you can do is think about that one person that you're addressing their particular pain or their particular situation. And when you focus on that one person, or maybe you've got a group, I call it a virtual focus group. You've got a group of 3 to 5 people who you are always trying to interact with. And, these should be real people with real problems, real pain points, real pleasure points that you can tap into. Focus on that person and personalize your message so that it is extremely relevant to that one person. And I guarantee you, if it's relevant to one, it's relevant to thousands or tens of thousands. And that's going to be the most effective way to really interact with people with a message that matters.
Yeah. So basically, it's researching to find out more about your audience and really get to know them better. Experiment to test out what is going to resonate and connect most, and then kind of put that all together and personalize your message by the findings that you have to make sure that you are resonating and engaging and connecting with people in the way that's going to make them think, oh my gosh, this was written for me, which is It's great when that happens and people are like, you wrote this for me, or this is me. And I sometimes when I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's just so good to know that you've kind of hit the nail on the head and you've reached out to that person or to that audience and really connected with them. It's so powerful. So basically follow those 3 steps.
Absolutely. And just as you said, Carrie, I think that is the key metric for marketing, is especially in today's day and age. If you can get people saying, oh my gosh, you read my mind. How did you nail my situation like this? This is me. that's the best metric that you can possibly get for your marketing efforts and really crafting a message that matters.
Yeah. And I think as well, this is something that everyone can do in any type of business, isn't it? It's not just for people that are coaches or anything like that. It's for all types of business, no matter whether you are like a dentist or a coach. Like, you can still use, like, really tap into that audience, to your audience, and understand them more, and then integrate that, can't you? It's not just for a certain type of business owner, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. We all have an inner monologue going on about every single need we have in our lives. And so whether it's about, the jewelry that you wear, or like going to the dentist, like you said, actually I recently went to the dentist for the first time in 10 years. I hate to admit that, but it's true, right? And the reason I picked the dentist that I picked was because actually they did a great job on the website of alleviating my fears, of making me feel comfortable with the philosophy they had behind dentistry. And it was because they really sat and thought about what mattered to somebody like me, not the person who's been taking impeccable care of their teeth for the last decade, right? But for the person who wants to be healthy, wants to have a beautiful smile, wants to do right by their bodies, but has had a lapse, right? And we're scared, we're anxious, gosh, we want all these different things. They nailed that on their marketing copy. And just one more example here, Tom's also does a really great job with this as well. Beyond their philanthropic marketing message, they also have a marketing message, especially now that they have the wider marketplace, of communicating how you can use their product to do more of what you want to do in your life. So they just threw out a marketing blast the other day that was around going back to school and getting out the door on time. And it was all about having a monochromatic outfit. But getting out the door on time, that's a message that matters, right? To busy moms, to busy teens, to just even to kids. Right? So they used that little nugget of a message, that little pain point that people have, and they built just this beautiful visual email marketing campaign around it. It was just that simple, but it's that kind of relevance that made their marketing really work in that situation.
I love that. And I love how you just said it's about creating a message that matters to that audience. And that's so powerful. So thank you so much, Tara, for sharing all of those wonderful things. You can find out more about Tara over on her website, taragentile.com. I will leave all the links over on the site for you on the blog post, so check them out. And also, I have a challenge for you. I think that over the next 7 days, it would be amazing if you could come up with a message that matters for your audience. So follow Tara's 3 steps, get to know your audience more and discover more about them, experiment, and then craft a message that's going to matter to them so much. And then head back over to the blog and share your results in the comments below. And also leave any questions that you have whatsoever in the comments, or any experiences that you have on marketing in the comments, and we'll get back to you. And I will see you next week for another dose of inspiration.